going to be a slightly different month in review than I would normally do, and that's for a reason. I'm kind of covering up my other canvas because it's a mystery-ish type canvas. But I'm in the process of moving, and when I would normally film my month in review, I will be driving cross country, maybe in Florida, but I'm not sure. But my finished canvases that I've already done will be packed up in my household goods in somewhere in the middle of the US being driven cross country as well. So the first finish that I have for this month, I don't know how many I'll have finished because I'm filming this ahead of time with my first 2 finishes, and then I'll add as I go. But my first finish of the month was the Diamond Art Club Mini Dazzles Halloween kit. And this I started on the I started it on October 4th, finished it on October 7th. Took me 2 hours and 42 minutes to finish these. And these ones are were all 12 fairy dust, 1 AB in this little kit. And there was 13 colors. They're roughly like a 10 by 15 centimeter little canvas. I think that's like the big size, but the actual drillable, yeah, that's like the big size. The actual drill field size is like a 10 by 8 by 10, is roughly an 8 by 10. So the drill field is like an 8 by 10 centimeter drill field, whereas the actual canvas is bigger, but the drill field is 8 by 10 centimeters. So the first one that we have up is this cute little spider web, which is adorable. And then we have like my favorite, which is this adorable little ghosty. And that is made out of like all little fairy dust drills. They're so cute. I love these little things. And I do like having the border. It gives it that finished look. So when you put it in like a little notebook, it looks finished. Let me see if I can turn it on so you can see those fairy dust drills better, because they show it better in the light. But those are all fairy dust drills, which I love. And then you can see is the AB on this one here, or in the corner of the boo. There's some orange AB right there. But look at how cute this little canvas is. Oh, so cute. These ones we are going to look at within the light, because you can see that fairy dust better. Those fairy dust drills are so much fun. And I loved the grays in the palette of these. Look at how cute that is. So that's number 2. And then the third up was this adorable little glaring pumpkin. He is super cute, this jack-o'-lantern. Look at him. And you can see the ABs on him to give him that like glaring accent. But then you've also got like a 310 fairy dust, which is super fun to work with. And I love the greens. So that's the third one. The fourth one is the bats and the moon, and I love the purple accent of the wings on this one. I loved it. Super adorable. I think, like I said, for all of these, super adorable. And then this one I felt like was a little bit, I was hesitant on whether that one would turn out, but it actually looks better when you're looking at it through the camera than in person. In person, you're kind of like, it looks like this might be a bush instead of like, the Frankenstein monster hand reaching out of the grave on it. And then I think that's supposed to be an eyeball, but it's hard to tell. And then you've got the tombstone with the RIP, or rest in peace there. And then you've got trick or treat with, some candy and an eyeball and everything in the trick or treat bucket. And you can see the letters come out fantastic. The letters are all in that orange AB. And then I love those dark fairy dust drills. Those are fantastic. But that is the first finish that I have for you guys for this month. And now we're going to go into the second finish, and that'll be the first segment of this video, or the first video segment. The second finish is going to be a mystery canvas, and this is going to be the 12 Days of Spookmas from our Diamond Art Studio UK. So if you do not want to see what it looks like, which the Halloween season is over, but if you don't want to see what the full canvas looks like, I recommend you look away, because I'm going to reveal the full canvas, the completed canvas, for the 12 Days of Spookmas from Diamond Art Studio UK. So we are going to take a look at these. So this is the 12 Days of Spookmas. And I do have a separate video up. Let me turn my overhead back off now. I have a separate video for a full in-depth post review on this. But this is kind of like it was a mystery kit, but it's also, and it was like an advent one with each one of these doors being a different day. And it was a combination of like a regular mystery style where the border was in like black and white, and then the doors were cross-stitch conversions, like an art to chart cross-stitch conversion. So it was kind of like a little bit of a hybrid in that aspect, where you had the regular like mystery kit style of doing the border, but then you had an actual like cross-stitch conversion for these doors, and I had a blast doing this. It was super fun. I started this one on I started this one on October 1st, finished it on October 14th. I have this one labeled as a cross stitch, so it's in a different category than my other ones, but I really should probably put this as a regular canvas completion, because right now it's labeled as like cross stitch. Let me go ahead and come to my finishes, because right now I have it as my completion of cross stitch completion number 11 is what it's labeled as, which would put it as my 11th cross stitch conversion that I've completed, which is accurate because it is the 11th cross stitch conversion that I've completed, but it's kind of like that hybrid combination. So I'm like, at the same time, for my logging purposes, it's also kind of technically like the 89th canvas that I've finished, but I'm like, so do I log it as a cross stitch conversion, or do I log it as a regular canvas completion? And I'm like, that's tough. I think I'm probably going to transfer it over instead of having it as a cross stitch conversion. I feel like I should probably transfer this over into my regular canvas completions, but I haven't fully decided how I'm going to log it yet in my tracking records. But let me go back to it. So that's kind of like the gray area. I'm like, how do I want to track this? How do I want to put it in my completions? Do I want to have it as if it was like a mystery kit, or leave it as if it was like a cross stitch conversion? Because either way, it kind of falls into both categories. And I don't log my cross stitch conversions in my regular tally of completed kits, even though this is a 45 by 50, 32 colors. It had 6 ABs. And it took me, like I said, 22 hours and 3 minutes to complete. So it's not like my normal cross stitch conversion, because the normal cross stitch conversion for me is a little canvas, but I do have some cross stitch conversions that I'm going to be doing that are larger as well. And I have a big project that I'm going to be doing next year. That's going to be a year-long project. That's going to be a massive cross stitch conversion. That's going to be like 100 by 100 something centimeter cross stitch conversion. It's going to be a massive project that I'm going to be doing, whereas this one is significantly smaller, as you can see. But I loved everything about it. It was super fun to work with. I did find it kind of got a little bit tedious doing the same patterns over and over for the sky on here, but that was more because of how I worked on this. I did door number 1, and then I did the border around door number 1, and then I was like, I can't work like this. This is driving me bonkers. So then I proceeded to do the rest of the border for the entire canvas, which then made it look like, so then the canvas kind of looked like this. And then I proceeded to fill in all of the doors. And that's just because my brain worked that way, because I had door number 1 done, did the border around door number 1, and it was like, hey, it feels undone. So I did the rest of the border to make it look like this, and then I could just fill in the doors, and that's how my brain wanted to work. So then it was just a matter of kind of going through, as you can see, and each time I finished, I would do another door, and you can see that progression as it goes. And that worked for me and how my brain likes to complete things for everything there. So working like that, I did not do like day 1, day 2, I worked, yes, I did day 1, day 2, day 3, and kind of worked my way down, but I didn't do like on day 1, do this, day 2, do this, day 3, do this. It was like, okay, day 1, rest of week 1, and then I finished these in the next, then like finished these in the same day, and then I finished this one, and then I finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I finished those 5 in one day, and then these 3 in another day. So I didn't like sit and divide them up and do like 1 a day kind of a thing, because no, I did not do that. I was like, nope, I'm just going to work and do this until it was done. So that's what I did. But I had a blast doing it. It was super fun. My all-time favorite door is the cauldron right there. That one is my favorite. I love the green ABs in it, and I love that little cauldron. It was like, that one was my favorite one to do. It's got some gray ABs, white ABs, yellow ABs, 2 shades of green ABs. It was just so much fun. I loved this little cauldron right there. I think that one is my all-time favorite out of all of them. And then my next 2 favorites are the bats in the graveyard, and then the tombstone. Those are my top 3 out of all of those. But it was very hard to pick because they were all such fantastic, adorable little patterns to do, and they were so much fun to do. And I love the Frankenstein monster hand. So much fun. But this was a blast. It, like I said, it did get kind of tedious because I was doing so many. close together. Like the fact that I did these 5 all on the same day, it did get kind of tedious doing the exact same cloud background for 5 days in a row, or for 5 sections in a row. But if I was doing them like doing one, skip a day, do the next, skip a day, and so on, to make this last for, you know, like 24 days or however long you want to make it to last, make it the 12 days of Spookmas, it would not have been nearly as tedious, I think, because you would have had a little bit of a break in between. But when you're sitting down and you're doing it all in one day, that did take a little bit more time. But anyways, that is my first 2 completions, and now we're going to move on to my next completion and see what I finished for canvas number 3 for the month. We'll see what my next completion looks like. Right. So the next kit we're going to look at is my 3rd finish, and I think this will probably end up being my final finish of the month of October. We'll see. The next ones that I do will probably end up being like little mini kits, but as of right now, this is my 3rd finish for the month of October, and this is finish number 89 total, because I decided to make the cross stitch conversion from Diamond Art Studio UK. I decided to mark that as a cross stitch finish instead of a regular finish. So even though it's the size of a full kit, I'm counting it as a cross stitch finish. So this one is going to be finish number 89. I'm not showing the kit yet because it is another mystery kit. So if you do not want to see it, this is the Crafter's Den Autumn Mystery, and I am going to show it now. So we're going to go ahead and flip it back. So spoilers, I apparently worked on a lot of mystery kits this month. Well, 2 really. But we're going to pull this down. So if you don't want to see the mystery kit, look away. But this right here, and again, I apologize for the difference in the filming on this, but look at how beautiful she is. This is finish number 89. I'll slide it up so you can see the last little bit of the bottom, which I think is just a couple rows, I think. Yeah, just a little bit. I think there's like this much of the canvas that you're not seeing, which is just more of the bottom that here. But this is the Autumn Mystery from the Crafter's Den Autumn Mystery, which the Crafter's Den is Sophie from the Diamond Help Desk. That is her Discord channel. So Sophie and Jade from Jaded Gem Shop work together to pick out a kit every season. So we've done, this is the 3rd one. So we did a spring, a summer, and then this is the fall. So this is the 3rd one we've done. Mystery kit that they decide on the image, and they're the only ones that know the image, and then as a group we work together on the kit over that season, and nobody knows what it's going to be until you work on it and expose what it is. So this is by the artist Nistique Arts, and it's one of Jade's artists. Obviously I went with a round one for this. So working on a round mystery kit, the canvas has the color behind it, obviously. So as you're working on it, the symbols are going to be in color, the canvas is in color. As you're exposing it, you're going to see exactly what that section looks like in full color. It's not your typical mystery kit. You don't know what the image is, obviously, but it's not a black and white mystery kit like a traditional mystery kit will be. But I knew I was going to be moving. I knew it was going to be interesting to try to finish everything in time, and I didn't know if I was going to finish this in time to be able to leave. I'm filming this on Monday the 28th, in the afternoon of Monday the 28th, and I'm filming it now so I can load up my car, pack this up, load up the car because I just finished it, and I'll be pulling away the next morning, Tuesday. I'll be pulling away on Tuesday morning to drive and start my cross-country trip, and I wanted to make sure I got it done so I could drive away. So I didn't know if I was going to finish it in time to be able to do that. Otherwise, I was going to be working on this as I was traveling. But that was the big thing for this one as the mystery kit. And I know I work faster on rounds, so I wanted to make sure I got that done. I don't have my finished stats pulled up on my iPhone. Ooh, I should go grab my iPad. And I can tell you what the finished stats are on this. But let's see, this is because it's round, it's a 50.4 by 67.2. And it came with 46 colors, which included 2 crystals and 2 glimmer drills for this here, and it is absolutely stunning. I love like the red color palette on this, and it rendered absolutely stunning. So I love that it's not your typical fall colors. It gives you the autumn fall vibes, and it gives you like the witchy vibes, and her hair and like the blowing leaves kind of give you the fall vibes. But the reds in this are not your typical like super flamey like orange. It's all these beautiful pinks and reds, and I know the lighting is a little bit different in here, but because it's all natural light that you're seeing. One of the things that I love about Jaded Gem Shop kits is how stunning the kits look with rounds in the light. I'll turn on the overhead light so you can see. I was trying to get it with no glare. You're gonna get a big glare from the overhead light in here because all of my filming gear is packed up in a bag right over there. I have a really, really interesting setup of how my, because my tripod is, my filming arm that I normally use is all packed up in that bag. So I have a really interesting setup for how my phone is being held to film this right now. It's really funny. I have my like phone charger is like a tripod, is like a little stand that sits on the desk. That is being held in place. I'm filming in the kitchen right now. It's really funny because that is being held in place in one of the kitchen drawers that's being held open in the kitchen. The drawer is open, the drill is holding it against the side of the drawer, and then there's a hammer pushing against the drill to tension it so it doesn't move. It's really funny, but we get creative. But I'll go grab the stats for how long it took me to finish this, and while I'm doing that, I'll turn on the light as I come back so you can see some of the glimmer. The Autumn Mystery, I started it, this is finish number 89. And as you can see, like you can see these colors. If I come out, I know that's why I didn't want to film with this, because you get that annoying glare right there, which I cannot stand. So I've been trying to block that glare. But look at how pretty those colors are and how much glisten you get from these rounds from Jaded Gem Shop. And that's something I absolutely love. But it is stunning. I absolutely love it. But that's why I didn't want to film with the light on, so you couldn't see that horrendous glare. But like I said, roughly a 50 by 67, 46 colors. I started it on the 29th of September, so I started a day or two early, got one section done in September, and then I finished it on the 27th of October. And this is by the artist Mystique Arts, 2 crystals, 2 pixie dust or glimmer, and it took me 19 hours and 58 minutes to do this, and I had so many drills left over, which I can show you guys that real quickly because I actually have the drills right on the kitchen counter since I finished this last night. But these are how many drills I had left over. So many drills left over. I was nowhere near close to running out of anything. There were so many left over, and I love the quality of the Jaded Gem Shop drills. So I'm super excited that I have a lot of colors left, a lot of these. So I will definitely be saving all of these drills. I had to grab all of the covers so I can transport these in my car because now I don't have to worry about anything falling out. That's why I have all of the lids for all of these things. So that was my third finish of the month. Let me go ahead and slide the bottom up like I promised you guys I would so you can see that last little bit of the canvas. So that's that bottom part that you didn't see. So it's just the last little bit of her dress, but it is stunning, and I love the little sparkles that you're seeing in the light, that little glisten, and her hair just beautifully rendered. Absolutely stunning. I love how this turned out. The only thing that kind of stands out to me is how bright that little section of skin on her chest is. That's the one thing that really stands out to me. So that's something that I'd have to look back at the original art. I'd have to look on Mystique Arts Instagram and see if I can find this original image, since obviously this is typically an image that Jade has never released before for these kits. It's usually something that is the first time she's ever offered it, and a lot of times she'll go back and she'll release it after the fact for other people to be able to purchase the image after the fact, after we're done with our mystery event for that season. But that's something that, this is the part that I'm not really a big fan of because it's such a drastic color difference right here compared to the rest. And what these mystery kits, they are pixel charted, which is Jade's version of hand charted. So I love that because you don't have Jade is known for her confetti heavy canvases with her normal hybrid charting. So normally it's her hybrid charting is where she puts it into the computer system, and she does go back through to get that initial render, and then she does go back through and clean them all up. But her renders are a much softer render, and they do tend to have a lot more confetti. This really,
you're going to have confetti just because of the image and how it is, but this is very, very much doesn't have that. You have all of these color variations, but you don't have any of like that typical computer confetti that you would typically have. It's very much a it is a hand charted kit, which I love because that is my preference. So usually if she releases something, an image that I like, and it's in the hand charted release, I'm buying it because that is my preference for kits. I hate that little glare right here in this bottom section right there, but I love how much brighter it is. But anyways, that was my third finish for the month, and most likely my last finish for the month. We will see. But I will touch base again if for any additional finishes I have as I'm driving and traveling. But otherwise, I will be back with further work. Right, so now we are on to the last of my finishes for this month, and I'm going to apologize in advance. I don't have a good way. I'm in the hotel, and I don't have a good way to set this up with like the tripod and all of that because it's buried. So we are going to hold this, and I'm going to try not to wiggle it because these are some small kits. So we're going to do it like this. So my mini finishes, and these are ones that I finished as I was driving. We have this adorable little one, which was the freebie thank you from Diamond Delights, DIY Delights, which was the freebie from the purchase that I did for the next 3 finishes. So I finished this as I was driving. This was my first kit that I finished on day 1 of driving. So that's finish number 1 of the mini kits. Finish number 2 of the mini kits was also done on day 1 while I was driving. So if there's weird wonky placement and gapping, that's because I finished this while I was in the car and driving. So if it looks funky and weird, that's because again I did this while in the car as a passenger. So when my mom took over driving, I would do this. So not too bad for doing this while in the car and doing the driving portion. So that was finish number 2 from day 1 of driving. I actually finished this by phone flashlight because I placed everything except for the yellow Fairy Shimmer FS ones, the yellow outline ones and the Glimmer of the Stars. Those drills I had to place while I was, those were the last ones, and it got too dark to place those, so I had to pull out my flashlight of my phone and place those ones by flashlight. But super cute. I absolutely love these. These ones are stickers as well. Love, love, love them. That was finish number 2 of the mini kits. Finish number 3, this one is a little bit more gappy because again, I finished it in the car while driving. So that one was Pastel Night Sky. This is Pastel Tori. Love, 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 love this. And this one again looks like super gappy. You can see those spots around those edges. Again, I did this while I was driving. I finished this yesterday. So I'm filming this on the 31st. I finished this on the 30th while driving. So day 2 of driving, of the road trip, car drive, all of that. So again, while I was passenger. So again, the placement that you see in the gapping is not because of the kit. That is because, again, I did this while I was in the car. So bouncy roads, and that's what gives it the gappiness. But the kit itself was a dream to work on, and I loved it. And I'm like, I'm so tempted to buy it again to do it when I'm not gonna have the gappiness of doing it in the car. Because I watched a friend of mine finished the same kit, and well, she actually literally just finished this one. The same day I was working on this one, she was working on it, and her placement is like pristine and not like little jagged little white lines that are all woo, and it looks so, so cute. And I'm like, and that's literally because her placement is not all wonky from being done in the car. And then we have Galaxy Ice Cream, which is my 3rd mini kit that I finished. This one, placement wise, I got half of it done in the car on the 30th while driving, and then I didn't finish it on the 30th, so I actually decided I had to finish this one when we got to the hotel on that evening. I pulled this one out to finish it, so some of the placement looks better than the other placement, and then some of it is a little bit gappy because again I was working on it in the car. So the areas that I did not do in the car looks a little bit better than the areas that I did do in the car, but overall it looks really phenomenal. These are so much fun to do. I had an absolute blast on these, and they were just beyond adorable. Super, super cute. I love the color, and I love the combination of like the perfect balance of the shimmery
special drills in here to give it the cuteness that we're seeing. This one is the largest one I've done by her so far. You can see how the size difference in it, and I think this is the first one that will not fit in my Ghibli sticker book. I think I'm gonna have to put this in something different or get like a larger sticker book, because this one will not fit. So that is the last of my finishes. So I think that means that I finished 3 kits and then 4 mini kits that I finished this month, which is not bad considering I had a lot going on and I'm in the process of a cross-country move. And then my whips, I will show the actual mini kit whips that I had, and then the rest of them I will show photos of on my iPad, so I don't have to pull them out for my whips and the progress that I've made on those. So progress on the whips. So well, the whips I started mini kit wise, I started the houseplants, Paint Gem houseplants, and I finished 3 of them so far. So houseplant number 1, and then houseplant number 2 right here. This one is adorable right there. And then houseplant number 3 of, this is the houseplants 2.0 edition or 2nd edition of the houseplants, and I finished 3 of the 16 houseplants in that edition. So there are 3 of them finished, and that leaves me with there's 16 totals. That leaves me with 13 more to go on that set. So I'll be working on those as well. So now I'll go over to my other whips that I have. All right, so on top of my whips, or my finishes, now we're going to talk whips. And I decided rather than trying to pull them out and show them, because I'm in the hotel and that's going to be a hassle because I don't have all the filming gear set up, I'm going to show you the photos of where I'm at on my whips this way and use my iPad. So you're going to hear my voice. I don't know if you guys can see my little mousy cursor rubbing around, but this is the progress that I have actually noticeably made on this whip, which is my Temperature Dragon cross stitch along that I've done as a cross stitch conversion, and I have made significant progress on my Temperature Dragon compared to last time I saw you. So last time I didn't have, on the left side, I didn't have the gray background all the way down to where it is. I added a little bit of the gray background, and then on the right side I finished out the September temperature the last 2 days. I didn't feel like pulling it back out yesterday or today to add those last 2 little spikes, so that I'll do probably when I get to Florida. I'll finish out on the 30th and the 31st, but I did get all of October done. I finished September, did all of October, and then filled in the gray background on the right side, so you can see that. And it was kind of cool seeing how, we know we've got the daily lows, we've got like the pinks and purples are the high temperatures, the greens are kind of in the cooler zones where it's down into the 60s for the greens, 60s into a little of the 70s for the greens. And then all of like the last half of October was almost every single day was the same exact temperature for the daily low. I think it was like either 67 or 68 degrees, which is why that bottom spike on that right side is almost the exact same color the entire way through. The lighting wasn't the greatest, which is why you don't get the best coloring there, but that's what we're seeing on that one. And then I kind of got the gray background all the way down through. So I did make good progress on my daily lows Temperature Dragon. I was planning last night and then also today to make progress on my daily highs temperature cross stitch along project, which I did nothing on in the month of September, which if you look at it now that I've crossed over to it, you will see that I have also made absolutely 0 progress on it for the month of October. So I was gonna pull it out. I have it in a tube on the little mini desk here in the hotel, but I just was not feeling like the hassle of pulling it out and trying to work on it on this tiny little desk with the girls being hooligans and jumping from the desk onto the TV behind it and causing chaos, and I just was not feeling it. I was like, I'd rather work on a little mini kit that does not take up much space. So I made 0 progress on this one in the month of October. So you will see we've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, but we do not have September done, and we also do not have October done. So I have to finish out September, and I also have to do October. So I have some catch up to do once I get to Florida, but it won't take me very long. I usually, the thing that takes the longest is just like the tediousness of doing the browns and getting like that detail work. Then when it comes to actually filling in the daily like the daily highs for that goes pretty quickly. That part usually goes pretty quickly. And I'm kind of like, what I've decided to do, so through October 29th, I was still technically in 29 Palms. I left the morning of October 29th, is when I left 29 Palms, and then we drove away from there. So I was still technically in 29 Palms the morning of the 29th. So I'm going to have the daily highs be 29 Palms through the 29th. And then I was the 30th and the 31st, the evening of the 31st, I was in San Antonio. Or the evening of the 30th, we were in San Antonio. And then the 31st, San Antonio. So those 2 days are going to be San Antonio for daily highs, is how we're going to do it for October. And then I'll have to decide what I'm going to do for November 1st. That'll probably be the daily high of whatever, because we'll leave San Antonio on the 1st. Whatever the day this goes up, we'll be leaving San Antonio. And then I'll probably be like, okay, the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st, I'll probably just log it as San Antonio temperature, so I don't have to try to like finagle. So it'll be 3 days of like daily high for San Antonio, daily low for San Antonio, for November, for that part. And then after that, go into like the daily highs and lows for Florida. So I think that's kind of what I've settled on for how I'm going to do this. So it will reflect where I was for those ones, but not like every day completely different temperature. But like it hasn't been drastic differences really temperature wise from like place to place. It's been pretty similar overall. But that's kind of what I'm leaning for that. So those are the two primary whips that have been like my long-standing whips that you guys are probably tired of seeing. Next up, the third whip that you guys are probably tired of seeing is the Storm God. But if you look, I did finish this month another section. I'm showing you guys this one here because they're better quality photos on my iPad screen like this rather than going into we'll go into my GemsFlow app in a minute, but they're better quality photos here than when I go into GemsFlow. So I finished all of section 2. I do not have, because I don't take photos until I have this section completed. I do not have a photo of section 3, but I do have a good chunk of section 3 done because I've got a good chunk of section 3 done. I've got all of the white done on section 3, and then so all of that white that you're seeing in there is done, and then about half of the border on section 3 down here is done. So I've got a good chunk of section 3 already completed, so I've made progress on that one. But this one is definitely a very confetti heavy kit as you look at it, and it's also bigger, so it's like basically it's like a 60 by 80, but this is the Storm God, which is like my perpetual whip because it is a very confetti heavy, large square canvas, and I'm just taking my time on it, pulling it out, working on it a little bit in between other kits, and then when I need a break from the confetti, I move on to something else. But you guys know me, I do not enjoy confetti, so I can only handle it in small bouts. But the nice thing is this section is a lot more color blocking. Really the only confetti in section 3 is going to be our little dragon down here. Everything else is much more color blocky, so it's that section has already started going a lot faster than the previous sections. But it's coming together nicely. I like the look of it, other than the fact that it's extremely confetti heavy, and you can tell that it was complete computer charting. I would like to see what this would look like with some like hybrid charting, going back in and like cleaning it up to remove some of the excessive confetti for it. I would love to see how that looks. But those are like my 3 perpetual whips that I have going. I want to kind of show you guys those. And then of course, we're going to move over to, I technically have 4 whips going now since I started the Houseplants 2.0 edition from Paint Gem. So I technically now have 4 whips going. 3 that are like the perpetual whips, this one, and this one here. Those are my perpetual whips. And now we're going to go over to my GemsFlow and look at the other ones. So yeah, so here is my Houseplants, which I technically finished 3 of the 16 little 3 of the 16 are done, so I have 11 more to go. That one I started today on the 31st, so that was a very brand new whip. That was, so that one, brand new, just started it. I worked on it for about an hour and 18 minutes, and I finished 3 little minis on it, so that one's going to go fairly quickly to finish it out. I probably won't finish it just because they'll take me longer. What if I work on them in the car? I probably won't finish it before I get the end of the road trip, just because we've only got like a day and a half left of driving. But I started that one. That one will be done in just a few days, though, if I work on it exclusively. And what are my plans for the month of November? So what I planned for the month of November, we've got, you can see here, I threw them into my started pile, even though I technically only, out of these 7, I've only technically started 4 of them. The Storm God, Houseplants, and then my 2 cross-stitch conversions. Those are the only 4 that I have already started. I will definitely finish Houseplants this month. That is planning on finishing this. This will be done this month. But then my other 3 kits that I plan on working on this month, I do want to work on Kyonashi. I've already got Kyonashi kitted up. I kitted it up last month with a plan to work on it in October, maybe depending on how it went. I didn't know how much I would get done in October, just with the move and everything else. But I was like, if I get to it, I get to it. If not, no big deal. I'm going to kit it up, have it in my hanging and roll up and bring with me, because this is one of them that was just slightly big enough that it's a 50 by 70, and the kits that fit in my tub of kits that I brought with me are only basically a 45. The longest, or the short dimension, would have to be 45 and smaller. So Kyonashi was bigger than that, but I wanted to do Kyonashi, so I kitted it up and took it out of the box and hung it up on my hanging, my clothes hanger, pants hanger thing that hangs on the back of the door, so that way I could bring it with me to Florida and it would be ready to go, so I could work on it before all of my household goods and everything else gets here and I have a house and all of that stuff, with the plan of working on it this winter, ideally November-ish, December-ish, somewhere around in there. But I do want to work on that this month, now that I've got all of my planned big kits for October done. That's what I want to do, is work on Kyonashi. And that one's going to go quickly because there's a lot of line blocking on it. When you look at the actual render image, it's a lot of line blocking, and this is from Diamond Artisan Shop. And it's from their original, their first run release of it, I think, from the first batch of kits that they did, and that's the artist Oakita, Eleonora Pautra, the French name. I can't pronounce the French name. The other main kit that I'm going to work on, so that's going to be one of them that I definitely want to do. It is a square. So that is Kyonashi. And then we've got Hello Wingspan. I cropped the photo to the Safe for Work edition. It's only cropped a little bit off. It's not really a not safe for work canvas, really. And this is Hello Wingspan. This is by the artist Tony Viento, and this is from Jada Gem Shop. And this is going to be my kit for Night Court November, which is hosted by Sophie over at the Diamond Help Desk, and then Mackenzie from Dragon Wing Diamonds. They are doing a book related. You have to have basically characters from books, essentially, is what the event is. So this is Night Court November, and this is one of the characters from ACOTAR, is this one. So that's Hello Wingspan, and that one is from Jada Gem Shop. It's going to be a 50 by 65. It is round. I love my rounds. There's not really good, I didn't feel like this kit had anything that called for, looking at the canvas, it didn't really have anything that called for bling really in it. The only thing would potentially be these little white marks that you're seeing in there. So I don't have any plans to bling it, and I specifically did not order it with any special drills. So that one, there's going to be no bling added to it. Next up, so that's going to be the one event I am doing for November is Night Court November. So those are the 2 main kits that I have planned. I also did order the Harvest Fall palette, which are 11 mini kits from Diamonds on Canvas, and they are square drill kits, and they are supposed to be small mini kits. So I threw those in because November is still fall, and if you look at it, you can see. I made a little collage of the images. there are 11 kits in here, and you can see there's a couple of them that are Halloween themed, and then the other ones that are just fall themed. I don't know if I'm going to try to do all of them, or if I'm only going to pull out the ones that are more fall themed to do this year, and then save the other ones for next year. But I threw this into my whip pile, or into my to-do for November, because I kind of want to work on the fall themed ones this year. So these are the actual images that there are. So you can see here, we've got this little Nomi guy with sunflowers. It'll be interesting to see, because these are supposed to be mini kits, and some of these images look like they would be rather detailed. So I'm kind of intrigued. The box is sitting in Florida at my parents' house, so I'm kind of intrigued to see how well they turn out, considering, you know, some of these look like they would be ones that would require a much larger, more detailed canvas. So I kind of want to see how they look and how they would turn out. And I can't remember exactly what the dimensions of each one of these little kits is supposed to be, but we'll see how many of them I end up doing. Once I see the size of them, I'll decide how many of these ones I do, if I'm going to save the Halloween-y ones for next year, and just do like this first row of 5, and then this little pumpkin one on the bottom, because those are fall, and those ones would go through like November. But I'm definitely like that little Nomi guy, the little fall leaf, the pumpkin and flower, those little fall flowers, the Thanksgiving-y one right there, and those pumpkins right down there, because those ones are definitely fall themed. And then these row of 5 I may save for next year, because we're already past Halloween, and I don't really know that I want to work on Halloween kits in non-Halloween, so I may save those ones for later. But that's the ones that I want to work on. It just depends on the size of them, really, is what it ends up being. But that is my plan for the month of November, is kind of work on these, primarily these 2, and then these mini kits here. And then I did bring a tub of my smaller kits, and then a bunch of like my paint gems and things like that, and like my mini dazzles from Diamond Art Club, those things. I did bring some of my paint gems, not all of them, and then all of my Diamond Art Club mini dazzles, which was the 6 of them that I have, as like mini kits to work on. So if I get industrious and I want to like finish out all of those tiny little mini paint gems and just kind of cruise through as many of them as possible over the next couple months, and then I have the tub of like mini things that I can work on, and I kind of want to see how many of those small kits I can finish from that little mini tub. It's not like it's a really big tub, it's a small tub, but I want to see how many of those I can finish over the next couple months before my household goods get delivered, to kind of clear out some of my hoard that I have. But that is the agenda and the plan. So really my finishes this month, I think technically that means that I had 3 canvases that I finished, and then those 4 little mini kits, and then I've got the 4 whips now going. That is really what I did this month. So I know, a little bit of a different month in review, because I had to get creative with the move going on and all of that stuff. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a different video, a little piecemealed video for you guys, but you still got it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.